In my last RZE review, I stated that the new Singaporean brand probably had another collection they were working on, and sure enough, here is their fourth collection, the Fortitude. Somehow, through all the things going on in the world delaying production, RZE has managed to keep pumping out new models, and not just watches that are variations or new dial colors of existing models, though they have been doing that too, but completely different models. The last collection was a racing-inspired chronograph. This time around, they have done a pilot watch. And at first glance, you probably think of the Oris Big Pilot, and while they both share a massive crown, the design of the case and bezel is much different. Now, a few things. This is a prototype, and I only had it in hand for 2 weeks. That may sound like a long time to you, but when you are always working on watches for reviews, I didn't really have 2 weeks, but more like a week by the time I was able to really get to it. And I had an issue with the video footage I took, and there was a corrupted file, and I lost good footage of the wrist shot, so you will see some static photos in this video to give you a better look at it on the wrist. That's what happens when you have such a limited time with a piece, but I will go over everything I can about this Fortitude, so let's get to it. Keeping with the theme of the Endeavor Dive model, the Fortitude is grade 2 titanium and has the same Ultra Hex anti-scratch coating as well. This model is all brushed, but you will notice when I give the close-up shots that this watch is anything but plain, and the attention to detail and finishes really is something for a price tag of around $459, and that's for the pre-order, and $599 MSRP when available in January. Now, before I get into my thoughts on this piece, let's get all the other details out of the way. You're going to see all the specifications on the screen, but as I said, the pre-order price will be $459. The exact date I have not got a firm answer on, but look for it to go live around mid-December, I'm told, and sign up for the pre-launch list on their website, which should be up now. Keep in mind, I'm recording this video in October. 4 colors will be available. Black, which is the one I have and dubbed the Nighthawk. I didn't dub it the Nighthawk, that's what it's called. Cruiser White, Turbo Teal, and Nimbus Gray. While at first glance the Fortitude may look simple, closer inspection really does show all the work that has gone into this new model. The whole case and bracelet does have a brushed finish, but then you look at the design of the bezel, the vertical brushing on the side of the case, the fine brushing on the inside of the twisted or lyre style lugs. Speaking of the lugs, take note of the drilled lug holes and how perfect those end links do fit to the case. Moving on to the crown, and what a crown it is. I measured this crown at 7.9 millimeters, which is quite large for a 41 millimeter watch, but when you unscrew it, you see that massive red aluminum crown tube. Even with this being a working prototype, the crown action I found to be very smooth, and it screws down with a nice firm stop. The case back, like most RZE products, is very simple, and for a watch like this, I think it fits. It doesn't need to be anything flashy. Much like Damasco, the gravel texture dial has the crosshairs, and looking at the dial more and more, I think you actually see a lot of Damasco inspiration in this. The hands are extremely similar both in design and finish, but the Fortitude here has an arrow minute hand. The markers are similar as well, but if you look close, this is a sandwich dial. And then of course the other difference is the stationary bezel or chapter ring, whichever you want to call it. You could call this watch a love child of both the Oris Big Pilot and a Damasco, but this is how inspiration or homage should be done. It's not a clone or a copy, but instead a tool watch in its own right, unique, but inspired. And of course, where's the date? Oh, that's at my favorite location, the 6 o'clock position. Now, I'm told I don't really see anything here, but if the date looks a little off, that is the one thing askew with this prototype, and don't worry, I've been told it'll be fixed come production. The bracelet is extremely comfortable and has a 4 millimeter taper from 20 to 16 millimeters. It really does drape nicely around my 7.5 inch wrist. When it comes to the Lume, I think this watch may beat out the Endeavor dive watch. I think that the sandwich dial allows for extra Lume paint to be applied to the markers and the hands, and it has a good slathering of Lume as well, and as you can see, this thing glows very nicely. But we still have to discuss the movement and the price, and I want you to know I did record this ahead of time, but I also have gone back and edited some of it because, well, I think I initially went too hard on the movement and the price. Someone in the comment section in a more recent video said they were okay with the NH35, but just felt it was overused. Now, I can agree with that, and I could also say that about many movements. We all know it comes down to pricing. The same with cars, we want to know what is under the hood and what we're paying. So, as I've always stated, no NH35 should be over $500. As you can see, the retail price of this will be $599. What do I say about that? I mean, I want to see the price lower when I see this movement, but it seems many brands are upping the price of their watches with this movement used. I'm not sure that's the best direction, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. And what I mean by that is how well this watch does, and others, when it actually goes for sale beyond the pre-order price. So, retail price out of the way, I do really enjoy this piece and was glad to get the prototype in hand before the release. I'm interested to see in terms of popularity and sales if this Fortitude outdoes the Endeavor, as dive watches are of course very popular, but I have to admit this is a great looking watch. I want to hear from you guys though. What do you think of the Fortitude? Sound off in the comments below. All links will be in the description as usual, including a link to the written article and a link to get some Watch Report t-shirts and hoodies on Teespring. Hopefully. Been having a lot of issues, but if you see the link down there, click it and go grab some t-shirts or hoodies. Much appreciated. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.